all right. Let me know in the chat who is here. We'll go ahead and dive into Bitcoin hitting its all-time high today with actually a pretty nasty rejection on there. So I'm excited to dive into some of the detail of it. Let you guys know my thoughts of the overall all-time high as well as the rejection here once we get a few others joining us. Let me know if you guys can also hear me in the chat. Hello, Melon. Leglet, let me know if you guys can hear me. Sounds good. All right. Good to guys have you in. We'll give everyone on another minute or two here. Actually, also too, let me know in the chat if you guys were able to catch any of this, the recent move up or actually that rejection as well. Want to see your guys' thoughts. Leglet, yeah, it was a very nasty drop. Definitely dropped the hammer. Let's see, Leglet, close my stop, got hit raised at 39.1. And I'll jump in to, I'll let you guys know what my positions were as well on this overall move. I'll let you know my thoughts, but I'm only going to give it a little bit longer to let some others join in before I start diving into it. They can watch the replay here. Yeah, I love the scalps. All right, cool. Hey, Dragonfly. Good to see you on here. All right, cool, guys. We'll go ahead and dive into it real quick. Just wanted to give everyone another minute or two, but looks like we're starting to get a couple people in here. All right, so overall, I mean, just the count to get to the that 40K where we were at, and then just that nasty rejection afterwards. So this here was really kind of my sweet spot, looking for a extension, and we definitely did hit it right here at the really that 35.6 with that rejection down. And then afterwards, as obviously, we're looking for that fifth wave up, which was going to definitely break the R2. It's just a matter of how high, and we definitely hit that R3 on the nose. You can see we just kissed it with a pretty nasty rejection right afterwards. So it's really playing these resistance zones on my strategy is really what I love to get to. And let me actually take a lot of this off and kind of just show you guys my thoughts on A, how we got up here, and B, where can we actually go next, with this potential, or with this rejection that we got off of it. So overall, on a larger scale, let me zoom out here, get some of those other indicators off. So it's really just a matter of how is this move up being actually, how's it getting there? And there's a couple ways to count it, and the only way I've really been able to do anything is on log scale for it to really make sense. If you're on linear, this wave up, if you're looking at Elliott wave specifically, the extensions don't exactly match, and it was just a matter of where overall, it starts right here, because we had this COVID drop where it was kind of indecisive, where it could be counted as a 3-wave up versus a 5-wave impulse. It's pretty safe to say that, especially right here, got very impulsive, which is very common for a 3rd wave, which means that we would have a 4th wave pullback and then going up for a 5th wave. And I'll show you some of my potential targets on the longer time frame. The other scenario is this either is an A wave for a zigzag for an A, B, and this is a C wave, and this overall run up could potentially be done. But the only thing that's leaning me away from it being overall potentially done is just how bullish everything is right now. Like every single drop just gets bought up super, super quick. There's not really any kind of deep correction by any way, shape, or form. I mean, especially if you go back to some of the other ones we had on this run up, it's kind of the same thing. We would have these dips and then just bought up super quick, had the dip, bought up super quick, dip, bought up super quick, until we reached out at our peak, which is just right at that 20K mark. So where can we potentially go? And really the way that I was looking at this, and you can kind of see from a time extension as well, where we are pretty close to being at the time extension for this particular move to have some type of correction, whether it's a wave 4 or whether it's a C wave to come back down for a larger A, B, C flat correction here. And what I mean by that is I'll go ahead and draw it out for this potentially to be an A wave, overall a B wave, and then another C back down, having this an ABC right here in the middle, because we did hit the 1.618 extension, which is the end typically Elliott wave for a 3rd wave extension, and also a C wave. It's really the max extension that you can really look at for a C wave perspective. So that's really kind of where this sweet spot came in at. Now, can we go higher? Absolutely. Can we go lower? Absolutely. So we'll take a look at some of the smaller time frames and really just kind of see, what potentially that can mean. Let me take these guys off of here. I'm also going to take the pivots off too for now. Try and clean it up a little bit. So if you pull your fib extension for this particular move here, which is either going to be your A wave or your wave 1, try and snug it up a little bit. All right. And then you can see, really 42, I mean, that's pretty dang close. We were at 41.5 whenever we got the rejection. So snugging it up, we hit that 1.618 pretty much to the T. And then so that kind of just dives into a little bit more in regards to, right here, are we going to have another 5th wave up? Because also in your C wave, you would have a completed 5-wave move, right? So when we dive specifically more into this guy here, coming off of our 3-wave correction for the WXY. Really, only way to count this is have the 1 here, 2, 3, 4 with a truncated 5th right here, and WXY 3-wave move, and then start our wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 5-wave for a third, for a 3-wave. Because if you pull the extensions off of what I would count this as the start of the wave 1, you can see that basically we would have a slightly overextended 3. We hit the 2.236 and have that a little bit of a 4th wave correction right here, and then an extended 5th wave that got us up to the 4.618, which is also that 1.618. Now, with us getting rejected at that 40K and now hovering around the 38.4, 38 and a half, we definitely did have a buy up. I think we hit 36. I'll dive into the smaller time frame, but we definitely had a buy up of that to protect some of the lower levels. Now that doesn't mean we can't go lower, but we definitely found a little bit of support on this drop as we went into it. So let me just catch up on chat real quick. Let's see. Likely it's after I did your masterclass. Love it. Pivots. I'll cover the pivots real quick for you, Luglet, here in a sec. Any different? I'll use something else. This looks better. I'm not sure what you mean by that one, but also, guys, yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys have questions. That's the whole point of going live, is just to have a little bit of interaction on this. So let me know if you guys do have any questions. If there's something you want to see, I can take a look at, potentially a couple alts and stuff as well. And I'll dive into the smaller time frame here in just a sec. Cool. All right. So 1.618, pretty sweet. Really, again, just hit that 41.5 to 42, which is that 1.618. So that's why we got that rejection right there from an Elliott wave perspective. And then also, I posted a couple charts, so if you're not a member of the Discord, I'd highly recommend you take a look at it, as well as the I'll jump over to my website here. So you actually go to my website, blockchaintatrading.com. If you scroll on down here, hit the little get in touch button. I'll send you a video demonstration of my #1 trading strategy that is completely free. So you get a video walkthrough of how to set it up, how I use it. And then, of course, we do have the Discord here. That is $97 a month on a monthly basis, or $597 for a year, which is half off. And it's actually, we have a 14-day trial right now for $25. So you can get in there and see what it's all about. And then, of course, the masterclass, which I actually gave one away last month for free, and then one away the prior month completely free as well, just for supporting my YouTube channel. So I'll probably do a couple more giveaways coming up. And then, so I'll just want to jump over into the Discord real quick, where I do have my own channel. And I just wanted to kind of show some of the call outs that I had for this overall move up. So I do post my videos in there, but I do have my own channel where I do exclusive updates. So you can see, before, let's see, what day was this? So this was on the 5th. So looking for that little 5th wave up to 34.6, and then a 5th wave to finish off that 3rd wave in this at the 36.4, which we definitely got. Had our 4th wave correction. Another update for the 34.6. Microverse, even great for scalps, had this ABC correction, threw in a long right here on the 1.618, and that's what got us up basically for that 33 to that 34.6 mark. Nice little high scalp leverage there. And then overall on a larger time frame, where we hit the 5th wave within the 3rd wave before we got that little kick up to 40K. So pretty sweet call outs, really kind of nailed that move for the most part on the wave up. So a little sneak peek inside the Discord, but we also have over 1,000 professional traders in here that are constantly posting their charts, their trade setups, and their thoughts on the market as well. So just wanted to show you guys that piece of it. All right, so let's go ahead and hit some of the smaller time frames here. Before we do that, we're on the daily here. So we got a little bit of a divergence there between the fourth and the fifth wave, which is beautiful. Overall, the CB index, pretty decent divergence as well for that little move up. And then market liberator just exhausted. So we'll go ahead and I just want to take a look at the weekly real quick. RSI is on fire. It's at 95. So I would actually expect with this drop here to have the weekly print a nice little sell signal right there, depending on how high we bounce back up off of this. So, all right, so let's go ahead and we'll start at the 4 hour, and then I'll even get a little bit even more into the microverse after that. So, so overall the move up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have the extended fifth wave that I was looking at. So 1, 2, 3. This dip right here was pretty close for it to be, technically invalidating, but it did not. So we had a fourth wave and then the fifth leg up, and then we had the dump right at that 40.5. So this might be depending on what exchange you're on, you might have hit 41, might have hit 44, whatever the case may be. Boom, boom, and boom. So you can kind of see here, I'll pull the fib extensions. Right there, boom, boom. So we hit that third wave extension perfectly at the 1.618, had our fourth wave correction, and then we had our fifth wave run for a 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty deep 4, but did not invalidate. It was close, but didn't invalidate it. And then we had our fifth leg up that hit the 4.236 extension to the T on that. This guy, again, this is, taking the move, a multi tens of $1,000 move extension. It's kind of hard to get it pretty close, but that's pretty snug if you ask me. I didn't use the magnet tool either, so I could definitely go back and use the magnet tool. Might bring it down a little bit, but anyway, nice way to finish off that fifth wave. If we look at the 1 hour, this fourth wave threw off a lot of people just because of how aggressive it was, but it is definitely a 3-wave move down. It came across pretty aggressive on that first one, and then even this one, I think this one scared a lot of people and thought that it was going to be done and over. But if you do pull the fib extensions off of it, it was definitely aggressive, and we did have that wick come through the 1.618, but then again got bought up again real quick. So we had a 3-wave down, a 3-wave up, with a 5-wave move down right here, creating the ABC. And then for us to blast off and go from there. All right, so let's actually go ahead and hit the smaller time frame. So what I also want to pay attention to is, we did have, we wicked all the way down to 36.3, and sorry guys, get out of here, I'm doing something. All right, so we did wick down all the way down to 36.3 on this hefty dump, but you can also see that we had a pretty nice buy up as well. So that's what I mean by everything is just super bullish in regards to the overall move up. And I'll go into, again, the smaller time frame here. Let's see. All right. So this kind of consolidation, I would again expect another potential 3-wave move down for this to be an ABC. And this again looks super aggressive, but again, on these massive moves, it helps to go into the microverse sometimes. So even on the 2-minute, we have a 3-wave move down. It's not 5. So we had a 3-wave move down, so it did not move off. It did not kind come down impulsively, which means we can actually still get a little bit more to the upside if it is super bullish. You can even see that here on the smaller time frame, you know, we still are trying to, you know, bulls are still trying to rally back up and get a little bit higher on this. So if you pull the extensions for this move down, hit the 1.618 for an ABC 3-wave move down. Now it's also interesting how we moved up. I mean, I don't know if we'll be able to see even on the 1 minute. I mean, it's kind of tough to see, but this is possible. It could be a 5-wave move up, which means if we bounced up impulsively, we have the potential to go up even higher, you know, than the basically the 40.3. And if you go back to the 1 hour on it, from what I was looking at for the 4th wave right here, you know, basically this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 is how I would count this right here. With a 3-wave correction. And then potentially another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go ahead and pull the fib extensions off of this guy. And I don't think it could be, but no, definitely not. All right. Let me actually get into a smaller time frame because that could potentially be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Oh, it's also, sorry, my brain's running here. No, that wouldn't work. We would have had to start right here. So the only thing that's throwing me off on this, and I'm just kind of, again, speaking my thoughts out loud here, is if this is a 5-wave move to kick off from this point right here, 3-wave correction, and then another 5-wave move with this correction, you know, that it, you know, it doesn't seem to be really done when I say that, just because from the extension standpoint, I mean, we really went through and we hit, you know, the 1 on this move up, which almost makes it look like a 3-wave move potentially. So if we did trend extension, we went above the 1.618 on that. I'm gonna have to spend a little bit more time on this guy, because what's throwing me off on it is, yeah, we had this dump right here, and that's when we hit the 1.618. But what's throwing me off is just really having this as a 3-wave move. So if we basically had a 5-wave up, 3-wave correction, then another 5-wave, you know, we would need something else, unless this is, you know, just an AB, some type of ABC. About to dive into, we'll actually get a little bit smaller time frame here. Might be something I'm missing. Yep, I mean, that's a perfect 5-wave move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Yeah, another 5-wave, and then this with this rejection. The only thing is if this has 5 waves in it right here. So let's see if this guy, there we go, that actually makes a little bit more sense. Alright, so if we did This guy is the ABC. And then this right here would be your wave 1. This is your 2. This is your 3, your 4th, and your 5th. For a little bit of an overextended 5th. And let's actually snug up these points here. So it's like just shy of the 1.618, which is okay. And then yeah, just right past the 2.382. So I mean, it looks like a completed 5-wave move at this point. So what we just need to pay attention to right now is with this move down, like I said, if you go into the 2-minute time frame, it's a 3-wave move down for an ABC right here, right? So that means that it moved down correctively, not impulsively. So which means I would expect another 3-wave move up. And if this right here is 3 waves up, and then this potentially can be a B wave, right? So with it being a B wave, we can still move up correct with an ABC. We can actually get up to the 1.618, which is at 41.3. Let's make sure that works with a expanded B pocket, which it does perfectly at the 1.236. So let's throw a little price label on there. Boom, boom, boom. So we still can get an impulsive C wave up to 41.3 basically at the 1.618 and the 1.236 for a potential B wave, and then have a C wave, still come back down and still wipe out a lot of people. And if this, as an example, if it did get up there, what we could be looking for a target on the way down, we can also just come back down and double bounce off of the 1.32, which is at 35. So let's actually throw the pivots back on there and see how that lines up. So you can see we have a pivot. Actually pretty close to it at that 1.382. I got a pivot at 35, but definitely some stops along the way. We have the R1 at 36.9, basically on 37K basically. The R2, which actually honestly by the time it gets back down, we might have a new set of pivots, but these are ones we'll pay attention to at the moment. And then an R3, which is be fairly interesting to see if we get back over it. We have that R3 right here, basically 39, 185 basically. But even on, again, smaller time frames, I mean, they kind of make sense on some of these larger moves, because you can really see 1, 2, 3, 4 potential 5-wave, and then you see we hit that the 786, which is a corrective fib level. And we'll see if we get if we're able to get back over there. But we definitely get reactions at the resistance levels as well as the corrective fib levels. It's just a matter as if it gets continuation with it or not. So sometimes in these scenarios, best thing to do is to let a few positions, just let the wave structures kind of just play out and see what we can do. And if you guys make sure you have a strategy to protect your capital, just so again with these crazy moves, I mean, it's just bouncing back and forth hundreds of dollars here. So if you're using high leverage, just make sure that you put your points at invalidation, protect your capital, and really kind of go from there. But with this overall being a 3-wave move down, we will probably dance around between really the 40, potentially 41, and the 35 range. I know it's kind of crazy to say, but I mean, this in a matter of minutes, we went from 40 grand to 36. Now we're back up to 40. here in just a matter of a few minutes. So expect a lot of volatility within the next few trading sessions, and jump in when you can. So make sure you utilize your strategy, don't FOMO, and protect your capital. Let me get caught up on the chat here. Let's see. Marcos, you think will be a 50 to 30% correction like before? You know, it's hard to say. I mean, just look at this example here and see how much of a. I mean, that was only a 10%. As crazy as it seems, a crazy drop like that was just about 10%. It's with institutions being involved, they are really buying up every single dip. So that's the thing that makes me hesitant to see if it's going to be another 20 to 30% drop. Being that this came down correctively, I wouldn't expect a lot of continuation. We might double bottom. We might hit the 1.618 at 34. If this does have an expanded, even if we just come up and we hit the 1-to-1 or double top, I mean, you know, we're still looking at roughly 34, 33 grand. So it's hard to say for sure. But off of this move, I do not expect a 30% drop. You know, we need to come down impulsively if we're going to get a 30% drop on it. Bill, Coinbase and Kraken sites are down. Yeah, man, I believe it. With the amount of buying and selling that happened, I mean, just going into a 1 minute, I mean, this 1 minute candle right here, how big is that guy? I mean, just that one. I mean, we're talking 1% changes with just 1 minute candles here. 1.2%. Probably our biggest one was this guy at 1.6% on a 1 minute candle with a crazy buy up. So it's pretty interesting to see, you know, this kind of volatility, and it's great for scalps if you have a good strategy for scalping on some leverage. But at the same time too, you got to protect your capital or else you're going to get wiped out pretty quickly on this kind of stuff. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? What did I miss? Oh, the pivot points. Sorry, I forgot to bring that up. So pivot points, it's called pivot point standard, I believe, on TradingView. Yeah, pivot point standard right here. It's great for ranges to kind of stay within and play around with. So pivot point standard is what I'm talking about when you see these pivots in R1s and R2s. Works great with Elliott Wave. You just have to make sure you change it to the fib levels instead of just the regular one setting that it comes in at. So yeah, that's what the pivot R1, R2, R3, and they're different on time frames. So basically you'll have your under 1 hour, your 1 hour to daily, and then your daily to weekly. Each one is going to be different. If you go back out to the daily here, you can see right here was the R3 that we passed out. Excuse all the mess here, but weekly, that right there was our R2. Then we had our R3 up here basically at 45. And then the hourly, which you can't even see it in all this mess from what I was drawing before. Yeah, which is right down there, 31. So yeah, so that's the pivot point standard. Bill, wonder if those sites being down helped or hurt the price action. Yeah, that's a great question, man. When we have these crazy dumps, that when these sites shut down, it just makes me, I started in stocks, and I think it's kind of ultimately what makes me think of is, if you think of the COVID drop, you know, they shut the stock market down. So you weren't able to do any kind of trades. You weren't able to continue to sell to amplify the drop. You know, I think a lot of these buy-ups right here were potential orders placed from the move down that basically just got filled. So it's kind of hard to say, but especially with the sites being down, I mean, we might start to kind of stabilize a little bit, roughly around that 39K mark. But yeah, it just makes me think of when the stock markets, when we had that COVID drop and they just basically closed the stocks, so that way the drop would stop. So it very well could potentially be helping, I guess. Depend what way you want to look at it, helping it from drop further, or if you were hurting it for drop further, if you had some orders placed down here and they got missed. But so it kind of just depends if what you qualify as hurting or helping. But yeah, I kind of see again just right where that 39 mark at the 786, a little bit of a rejection there. But yeah, really best way to do it is just play it level by level. And but the biggest thing is this came down correctively, which I wouldn't expect continuation. Now if this is the top, and this is to say the highest it goes, and we start to get a little bit of a turnaround, we can still hit the 1.618 down here for a potential C wave at basically 33. It almost makes me want to think we'll come back and test the pivot about 35.5 roughly, and we have the S1 and S2 below it between 34 and 33K. But being that it came across correctively, we might just kind of have a topping formation, and then ultimately decide which way we're going to go from there. But being that we hit 40K that's huge. It's a huge number, and Bitcoin's just been on a crazy tear. And it's just, from my count, I think that overall, I'm going to clear some of these off and just go back to the larger view and show you guys my thoughts on that piece on the macro, because being that this came across, or we dumped in 3 waves instead of 5, says a lot. And what I mean by that is, let me get back out here to the larger time frame. Oops, I don't want to delete that one. So I'll delete some of these fib levels and clean it up a little bit. All right, I'll take the pivots off again. All right, so from a macro view, this is where it kind of came into it. Is this the C wave, or is it basically a wave 3 going into a wave 4? And being that we did drop correctively, that makes me lean more towards it being a wave 4 right here, instead of a B wave. So with it being a wave 4, I mean, I'll pull the pivots, but I don't even really want to, because I don't think it's going to matter if we are still extremely bullish. And that's not the pivots, but the fib retracement. I mean, a wave 4 is down here at 24K. So ideally, that is your retracement for a wave 4. And it is still possible we can get there. We can move down in a 3-wave and then have a 3-wave connection and then a C down. So we still can come down in a 3 ABC formation down here to 24, because that is your typical wave 4 retracement. And if that's what we had, get back up to roughly 40K, then that's our 30% that you were talking about before, Bill, for a 30% retracement. So it is possible. It is definitely possible for a wave 4. It's just with as bullish it is and every little drop getting bought up, it's hard for me to say for sure that we'll get down there. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant. But 24.7, 25K would be the ideal wave 4 retracement. So if that is the case, then we had our wave 4 retracement. We can expect our wave 5 to bounce up here to 102.4. That would be our wave 5 move, and that would be our large wave 5. So yeah, that's my macro count. So I think it still is definitely possible, but really kind of between this zone, the 40 to 24K, is where I look at loading up a little bit more long term. So but yeah, guys, that's my thoughts. I'll go through chat one more time, see if we can catch up. I appreciate you guys joining. Again, make sure you guys, I hope to see you guys in the Discord. Jump over to the website, get my #1 trading strategy, and shoot me an email. Bill, looks like Kraken's back up. Cool. Let's get some more trades going in. And yeah, guys, that is it. But appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope to see you guys in the Discord. Make sure you check out my website, get my trading strategy for free. My username on Discord is blockchain. Actual name is Corey. So if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to me through the website, email, or the Discord. So cool. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'll do another live here in the near future, interact a little bit more, answer some questions. So I will catch you guys later. So last chat, when BTC crossed 40K, it did earlier today, right before the drop. 40,500 roughly is what I had on my exchange. So perfect. All right, catch you guys later.